Chapter 8, Gare de Lyon. Gare de Lyon heaved with bodies and belching steam. Whistles periodically pierced the clamor of shouted farewells and rattling luggage carts. Porters in blue uniforms wove between clusters of travelers as salmon leap against the stream in spring. Vincent stood on the platform, transfixed by the colors, currents of people, and shifting clouds of vapor drifting over the station. Muted and suggestive, as if he was watching a Monet in motion. He boarded the Paris-Avignon train with 2 hand-stitched duffel bags slung across his shoulders. They were not elegant but stout, stuffed with the essentials: winter coat, lighter spring clothes, socks with holes darned in clumsy patches, a pair of pants, and the essentials: a pipe, tobacco, and the tools to paint. His train car that he shared with others was spare. The compartment cold and seats hard. He settled by the window, where the heat of his forehead created a halo, as he watched Paris unreal before him in a blur of slate roofs and church spires that punctured the low winter sky. Sacré-Cœur's white dome that dominated the village of Montmartre and his life for a year faded into the distance, his eyes blurred with coming tears. Ian's voice was quick to arrive, murmuring behind his eyes. "That sure is some crappy weather out there, brother." Vincent focused on the sleet and groaned. "Yeah, it is. Could be worse, though. We could be back in our small town in Holland. That would be a whole lot worse." "Ah, true that, brother," said Ian. "Don't have any cafes there in Holland, do they?" "No, they don't," Vincent replied. "And no high-kicking girls to bring home to Dad and Mom either." "Nope, none of them either." After some moments of reflection, Ian said, "He sure was a hard ass." "Now you mean Dad?" "Yes, Dad." Vincent let his head fall against the window. "Yup, he sure was." The carriage from Avignon rolled into Arles, with the late afternoon sun casting shadows sideways. Stepping onto glistening cobblestones, slick from the day's damp weather, the winter's Mistral, famous in these parts, whipped at his coat and tossed his hair into a roguish style. "Well, here we are," Ian said as Vincent scanned the street. "Looks like a party town to me." He looked up at a wooden sign creaking above them. Hotel Restaurant Carrel. "Why not?" Ian nudged. "As good a place as any. I'm cold." "You're not even alive," Vincent muttered, pushing open the door. Inside, he rang the brass bell and dropped his bags. Madame Marie Genoux appeared, her house smock smeared with flour, dirt, and sauce. "Is there a room to let?" he asked. "Yes. 2 interior rooms are free tonight, one larger than the other. Would you like to see them?" "Just the larger, please." "Follow me," she said, mounting the stairs that creaked beneath each step. The room was square. From the floor below, he could hear the pots and pans of the restaurant clatter. Its stucco walls wore a trim work of wallpaper, faded cornflowers and wheat stalks that curled away from the seams, revealing a stained surface beneath. A narrow iron bed supported a sagging mattress was pushed to the corner, and a worn side table with countless scars of glass rings had a copper lamp, whose glass chimney was smudged with the fingerprints of previous lodgers. "That will do," Vincent sighed. "I'll take it for the week. Is board included?" "No, sir." After a week's payment was made, she handed him a stacked bundle: bed sheets, towel, wool blanket, and a skeleton key tied to a small bound ledger. "For your accounts," she said of the ledger briskly. Upstairs he set the linens on the side table and crowned it with the blank ledger, the first tangible weight of this new southern chapter in his life. Later that night, above the hotel, he discovered a terrace, broad and partially covered with a canvas of blue and white. From there he could see Rue Cavalerie below, the cafe patrons drifting out with their voices bright, and across the way, fogged windows of the homes lit with yellow squares. He rubbed his hands, hauled up his easel, and claimed the terrace as his winter studio, and began painting. The weeks that followed were cold and raw. Vincent walked the twisting lanes of Arles with his ledger, charting where streets bent, where light fell, sketching the townspeople. He penciled women in bright shawls, men slumped with fatigue, cafes spilling lamplight onto cobbles. Later he climbed the stairs to his terrace, laid out a canvas, and worked until the oil in his lamp burned low. After dark, the town's brothel was discovered easily enough. A narrow building with peeling crimson trim and a discreet lantern swinging above its doorway. By candlelight, he caught the glances of a maiden with auburn hair and freckles that scattered across her shoulders like the Milky Way. "Rachel," she said, holding out her hand palm side down for him to kiss. Her fingernails were trimmed and buffed to a modest flicker in the wavering candlelight. The slight downward tilt of her chin, the way her fingers absently traced the edge of her shawl, was so sketchable it made him ache. "Provide the payment of a reasonable sum to the madam, and I will ease your mind in turn," Rachel said, stroking his cheek. "At a reasonable sum," he told himself, "I would rather have your portrait." In late spring, Vincent wedged himself between sweating bodies in the seats of the Roman amphitheater of Arles. The crowd roared around him as if in Spain. Men waved their hats and women their handkerchiefs as the matador stepped into the ring, gesturing his hand stiffly to the audience as he faced down the bull. The matador's cape flashed blood-red scarlet against the afternoon sun. The bull's massive shoulders heaved, nostrils flaring with each labored breath and charge. When the final sword plunged home, Vincent was astonished as the matador presented the bull's severed ear to a dark-eyed beauty in white lace sitting within reach, her cheeks flushed with the same vermilion that stained the arena floor. Later that week, on the square of Lamartine, he discovered a four-room house painted sunflower yellow, its green shutters fastened and slightly sagging. "Oh, now that's a cute little place," Ian said approvingly. "I like the location, close to the Marché, Cafe, and Coliseum." By June of 1888, he moved into the yellow house with little more than his art supplies and clothes. "Now I can live and breathe and think and paint," This, Vincent declared, his eyes bright with possibility, as he surveyed the empty rooms. This will be my studio of the South, as he sat and wrote to Theo. Arles, Sunday, 19th of August, 1888. My dear Theo, thank you for your letter and for the 100 francs enclosed. It came just when I needed it, having found a small house to set up our salon. I have made a new friend here, the postman, Joseph Roulin. He's a man larger than me, with a thick beard, a staunch Republican, and a truly warm heart. He has a wife and 3 children, and somehow they all manage on 12 francs a week. He's the very picture of a Frenchman, full of spirit, able to speak about politics with the same conviction he gives to anything else. His friendship means a great deal to me. I've already begun 2 portraits of him, one of which I intend for you. I've also started a study of his young son, and his wife will sit for me soon as well. Roulin is expecting a promotion, which will raise his pay to 100 francs a month, a sum far more fitting for the man he is. The weather here is radiant, the sun so bright and the sky so full of color that I can hardly paint fast enough to capture it. I've even begun a new self-portrait, which I mean to send to Gauguin in exchange for his own likeness. What Gauguin said to you, that one mustn't be afraid of reality, strikes me as right. I am throwing myself wholly into the work, searching for something I feel I am close to finding. It takes endless effort, and that is why I'm so glad I came south. The other day I visited the local museum and saw a portrait by Monticelli. It confirmed my instincts that I am right to follow the course I've set for myself. I feel happier with my work here than ever before, and I believe that will continue. For now, I send you a warm handshake, and once again, my heartfelt thanks for your support. Ever yours, Vincent. Ian grumbled as Vincent folded the letter into thirds, sealed the edge with wax, and addressed it to Rue Lepic, 54. Paint, dude. Don't just sit there and stare at your shoes. Paint them, Ian admonished him. Theo had promised him an allowance with 1 painting per month in return. No problem, he replied, as he began with the things before him. His chair, his worn boots. Vincent clenched his pipe. He turned the emptiness of his room into subject matter, filling it with life captured. The spring weather brightened considerably, and he carried his easel through town, capturing the street life, merchant stores, and countryside. He sketched orchards, bridges, and the ragged outskirts of Rue de Boot. At night he studied the cafes, their doorways ablaze with Arlesians in red frocks drifting through with clients. Yellow, the eternal color, came to him through the ripening fields during the day, and from the gas street lantern at night. By summer he had finished many works, and his first of 2 canvas for Theo. He titled them simply The Night Café and Portrait of the Postman, Joseph Roulin.